I want you to tell me your favorite, or one of your favorite, most profound memories of your dad, of what you found.
The most?
If you had a little child on your lap and you said, and he or she said, "Mummy, tell me what was the greatest thing you knew about Granddad," what would you tell them? What you found?
That he was a very wise man. A lot of human nature wisdom, people's behaviors and looks. He just seemed to know a lot about human nature. And but I think also I would say deep down inside in his heart, he had a very spiritual side to him that I think from his family in being raised, in the church, that part never left. But then in the world, you get distracted by this and distracted by that. So I think sometimes he kind of shielded it, or maybe just closed it off. Even at times. But when I would talk to Pop, that part, that spiritual side, which had a lot of laughter in it and a lot of wisdom, because then he would think of his experiences. You talked about what would I say to my granddaughter. Well, she's only 4 right now. She wouldn't understand it. She didn't really get to know him at an age where she could really comprehend what he would say. But in my asking things of my dad, why is this like this? Or what about this? What do you think I should do? That spirit came up. And I recognized it. And that I could compare it with the truth, which I already knew, limited as it was, in that fact that he is my father, much older and obviously much more experienced.
So tell me, when you were on the road,
yeah,
when was the first time you played with your dad?
Oh, the first time.
You probably weren't on the road, but when was the first time you actually played with him?
The very first time, well, I didn't play with him, but the very first time I was on stage with him, I was 5. It was Baltimore, Maryland, and it was maybe I was about 6. I think it was 1956 as I look back on this, but I was about 5 because I turned 6 in the fall, right? So Pop's doing a gig, and there's a stage there, and Mom was there. Oh, wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're at the gig, but coming to the gig, he was driving, and I was looking at all the, out the window and looking at all these buildings. I didn't know where we were. I knew it wasn't home. So Pop saw a little toy store. He had to get some kind of music thing, and he stopped at this store, and in the store must have been a toy guitar. Anyway, he bought this toy guitar, and he came back from the store from whatever he needed. Maybe it was strings or whatever. And he gave me this toy guitar in the car, which was, wow, I got a toy, Now we're backstage, there's big, heavy curtains on either side, and through this corridor, of curtains, well, I'm hearing music and stuff and people, and stuff, but I'm too far on the other side of the curtain, with all these curtains backstage. So I get out of my chair and I come over to where Mom is, and I sit, kind of squat. There was no seat there, but I kind of tried to scoot back so I could sit down and see what she was doing and what she was saying. And then I could see Pop. Well, there's all kinds of colored lights on this stage, and there are people on this stage, and it was like things were happening, and it was fun. It was fun. So as the music was playing, I started playing too. So yeah, so I'm like really getting into this now, and I want to get closer, but Mom wouldn't let me. Mom's holding me like this because I'm wiggling. I'm trying to get out and get closer out there to the stage. Well, you asked me, this might be a long story, but this is it. And I'm wrestling with Mom holding me, and I'm trying to get out and get closer to that stage, to the opening there. And Mom said, no, you sit here and be still. And Mr. Allen Freed said, let her go, Mrs. Berry. Well, God bless him. When he said that, one burst of energy, and I broke out of Mom's arms, and I went to the edge of the curtains. Now, the edge of the curtains were now, if you go past this curtain, you see you're on stage just a bit, and you see the people. Well, that's what I did. I turned around to see what was that noise out there, and I heard someone go, oh, and then I jumped out, and I just looked to see. And this Pop is playing, the music's going there. And then I remember this vividly. The audience went, oh. And I looked at Dad, and then Dad did went down into the duck walk, and he duck walked to me. Well, I didn't realize it, but I had that guitar in my hand, that little toy guitar. And I did the same thing. Only time in my life I ever did it. Because to me, it's playing. It sounds ironic, but it was just a little girl playing with Daddy. Early on, back in the 70s, we would, get to the gig, to the city, get in the hotel. Sometimes we had just a few hours to get ready, so we're talking about what's it like being on the road, is it hard, is it fun, what's exciting going to a new place. The hustle and bustle of getting ready for showtime can be a little bit unnerving, if you haven't eaten, if you can't take a shower or whatever. But here's the thing about this intuitive connection that we had, and we kind of both noticed it, and this is it. My room would be way down the hall, and Pop would get in his room, and I'd walk down the hall and get in my room. We have like maybe an hour and a half to get ready to get back down to the lobby to go to the gig. Well, we're coming out of the room, we're ready to go, Pop has on a red sequin shirt, black pants. I have on a black shirt, sequins, and red pants. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Now that happened more than 5, 6, 7, 8 times. This seemed to be an ongoing thing, and there was no calling to each other's room, well, what are you wearing? There was none of that. Because everybody's trying to get their food, get your clothes ready, and make sure, myself, I always made sure I was packed before I left my hotel room for the gig. Packed for the next morning flight. What was it like on stage? It was that kind of intuitive understanding. It was just some connection.